Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, HH, Happy New Year.
Well, happy New Year to you and to everyone out there. It's our first show
Yes,
of
we are
2025.
back. This is the first Monday of 2025 in January. It's been a whole year. Well, not really a year. It's only been a few weeks. But hopefully we'll get to a more of a stable schedule soon. But we do come at you every first Monday of the month right now
Yep.
at around the 9:30 time, roughly. So, how were your holidays?
Well, mine have been great. Quiet, peaceful, a little bit of a nice trip to, as I mentioned to you, for those that follow, Dubai.
Right.
It was fun. It was nice. Great, business with pleasure opportunities. So always look forward to those trips, every now and then. How about yours?
It was good. It was very good. Had a very good time. The only challenge I had is that the last just got back, as you know. I flew back this morning. Got back into Newark. It was about 9 o'clock. There was some. We came right into snow, and just as the plane landed, they grounded all the planes for a few hours. It started snowing when I landed. In fact, they said brace for a little rough landing, but we got just under the curtain before the storm. But it was a little challenging because the last couple of days my dad's been falling, so we had to call 911 several times, and then we went to the hospital, and so it was a little challenging. And we got to the hospital at 9. I think we left the hospital. It was about 12. I didn't get to bed till 1. Well, actually, maybe 1:30 because I had to still do my show. And then I got up at 3. Got picked up at 4. Had get to the airport 6, and got in about 9 to the airport. And yeah,
Ooh.
it was a lot. So tonight I know I'm definitely going to crash because I only went to bed for a few hours. And you sometimes you can sleep on the plane, but when they keep interrupting with those announcements, you really can't go to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, like all right, like I really don't care. Just let me go to sleep.
You got to put those little things,
I have
and
my Sennheiser. Actually, no, I have my other ones. I have these. I have my JBL pods that are have the in your ear kind of, and they earpods,
noise
and
cancel.
they work great. And then they have the thing for the noise cancellation. But the lasers, and for our frequent flyer members, we're gonna tell you how you can. I really don't care how I can earn. I just want to go to sleep.
Well, they got to do their thing, right? So
I
it is
understand.
what it is.
Did you want cookies? Did you want crackers? Or did you want pretzels? Pretzels. Okay, here's your pretzels. One little bag.
Well, you do. That's domestic. I mean, listen, I just flew for 14 hours, so I can tell you, that's a whole different flight with a lot more interruptions. When-
Really?
well, it's 14 hours, so there's breakfast, there's lunch, and there's a snack. So they do come up,
But
quite
you
often.
can go to sleep.
Well, yeah, I
No.
mean, and there's enough. I mean, you sleep, you wake up, you sleep, you wake up, you're still in the air. So it's one of those long
How long
hauls,
is that flight?
14 hours. Yeah,
Two and a half hours. That just kind of goes right by.
bro, two and a half hours is just like what time you stretch, and get ready to that comfortable seat, and that's it, you're done.
And
It
they didn't
doesn't.
have any. They didn't have any. This wasn't the plane that had the upgraded, media system. This one got left out. They
You talking
had
about yours or
no.
mine?
Mine. They had no me. There was no. I was waiting to pair my Bluetooth to the thing, but there was nothing to pair it with. There was no screen.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay, I'm not gonna ask what what airline.
No, no, United. I fly United all the time. They're,
All
they're,
right.
they're
Well,
good. I
United they have some good, I guess aircraft.
planes.
So yeah, they got some
Yeah,
good
good
ones.
planes.
Well, I guess depends on the time of the day, what flight you take. Different.
I always take the same flight, so something was messed up, but they were sure of the weather. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so it was interesting. But anyway, an interesting thing's been happening. There's been a rumor in the news, or should I say, is it a rumor
Well, let's talk
that
about that.
yes, that Target and Walmart, if you heard about this, that they're going to start charging money to use the self checkout.
Say what?
The
I'm sorry.
media
Hold
had
on.
said the other day
Mm.
that they're going to start charging a fee to be able to self checkout at Walmart and Target. Now, first, I should let everyone know that's watching or listening tonight that this is totally false. This is wrong. This is a case of the media being the media and not doing what they're supposed to do and spreading the wrong news. So what they are doing now is they are allowing you to check out, but they're going to basically limit the number of items you can use, which they're doing now anyway, 10 to 15 items. And they may choose to limit when the checkouts are open. Okay, that's still fine with me. So where the confusion came in and the media just kind of messed this all up is that if you pay for, I think it's Target's that's doing this. Target has their Shopper Plus program or something, and so what this Target Plus or the Target Plus experience, you pay a fee, as you probably would imagine, and you sign in, you pay this fee, but what happens is you're able to check out as you're in the store. So you have your app on your phone, your Target app. You can now go around scanning things, and before you leave the store, you can pay for it. That you've got to pay extra to be part of the Target Plus plan. So they're not going to charge you. But the question you might be asking is, why the heck are they doing this? Like, what's the whole point? So their point is that they want to eliminate shrinkage, store theft. And so they believe that by giving this convenience to people that pay for it, are going to be able to, they put their information in, and now they know where to get them if they've done something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they're going after people like, they inadvertently they forget to scan item. It happens, right? It's actually a crime if you walk out and forget to scan item. Doesn't seem like it's a big deal. So if you catch it before you leave the store, it's no problem. But if you catch it after you leave the store, they could prosecute you for criminal charges. So you're scanning, I don't know, a couple bottles and you skip one. They consider that theft.
Well, it is a pretty interesting thing, as far as, the scanning part. I mean, a lot of stores now have that. I mean, you're talking about some smart stores going, around already, and Amazon obviously is the lead on that. But even BJ's and like some of these big surfaces, they all have the app where you can just scan everything, and just by the time
But
you
you've
get to
got
the,
to
yeah.
pay. You got to pay for the Target Plus program to use the app.
Well, I'm saying the other ones don't have it. So like, I have BJ's, and we scan things. There's
Yeah,
no
you too.
yeah.
And they don't charge you. Well, you pay for the BJ membership, so you're already paying to
Well, but that's to get you access to the discounted, I guess,
Walmart.
wholesale stuff.
Yeah,
But Target is not the same. I mean, it's not
no,
wholesale. So,
nor is Walmart.
well. So that's the other thing. So Target, Walmart. I mean, there is a difference in the quality, I would say, in terms of what they have,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's always been Target a little bit more these upscale. Although I have to say, Walmart is doing some interesting stuff these days. And so if this is one of them, that's one. But I don't know if you heard about the Walmart Birkin, the Workin.
The what?
There's this famous bag that's expensive for ladies' bags, right? Handbags, right? The Birkin,
Okay.
the Hermes, right? So now Walmart has a version of that thing. It's called they refer to it as a Workin, W, as opposed to Birkin with a B, and it's a pretty interesting. It's like 79, $80, whatever, for this, and the real thing is like 10,000 plus for the same. I mean, it looks the same. Not, I wouldn't say the quality. I haven't checked them out. I mean, they've already sold out. So I'm saying like these stores are doing some interesting stuff for I guess the new season, and so it's amazing how these things evolve, in the competition, and they come very creative. Uh, I mean, I don't know if the opportunities, but I'm certainly from business, points. I mean, it's money generating, right? So it's pretty good
Well,
stuff.
you have to realize something that the first, and if you know this, do you know where was the first self checkout? Do you know where that was?
No, no idea.
Okay, so interesting that I bring this up. So I just wrote an article the other day for a publication, and it was actually at the Kroger store in Atlanta in July of 1986.
Hmm. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, this is interesting because self-checkout is becoming more of a nuisance for some people. Like Target, for example, I go somewhere tonight, they wouldn't let me pay cash at the self-checkout. So I had to go to a manned register station, basically. And so the reason that self-checkout started, so that you know, it was I think it was in 1992. And in 1992, this is something I think you're going to find interesting. There was a gentleman. His name was David R. Humble. He was a British inventor, and was first introduced for public use at a Tesco store in the United Kingdom. And so he actually started to come up with this idea. And you're probably wondering, John, where the heck did this idea come from? Right? Where did it come from?
Hmm. Well, it's a smart idea. I mean, it's kind of makes it easier for people to just walk in, walk out, especially if you have a few items, right? You know, I mean, they had those small items
So
or like,
here's why he did this. He was just at a store minding his own business a long time ago, and he saw people getting very frustrated with the employees taking, I guess, a day or a year to scan items.
I'm sorry, that's I love the way you plugged that one in, but that's a pet beef that we could talk about in a minute. Because I mean, I do find it a little bit funny that you said that because when you walk into these lanes, I mean, there are people that take their sweet time. I
But
mean, they
yet
have yeah.
there was a contest. This was in a movie, I don't remember, a while back, and they were also. But this one guy was like the Wild West. He was getting all kinds of awards, and he was like the top checkout something at Superstore or something. It was a made up name. It was supposed to be like a Costco. They're like Super Price Co. or something. And so he's doing all these things, and he's so fast. He's throwing them around, bing, bing, bing. And so then they decide to do a competition between him and the other to have a check. So everybody thought he was doing such a great job. And the security guard, wait, we got the manager says, oh, we got our winner again. It's Ricky. He's like, wait a minute, sir. He's like, no, he's the winner. No. Watch this. Yeah, what? He's just throwing something around. Yeah, but you missing something. What are we missing? He's just really fast. No, you see, every item that he puts behind his back, he's missing a scan. And if we add all these up, this order was $389. He forgot to scan 129 things, and they still got put into the basket. I don't think that's right. You sure? Then they're going back and forth, and this lady finally gets the award, and he was really upset. But I think, the point of self-checkout is supposed to be a convenience, right? But they're
Mhm.
making it very inconvenient. So what are they doing now? Well, whether you're going there or you're going to Home Depot with still the Windows 95 kiosk, which I think is a joke, they have theft deterrent systems in there. So that if you were to put on, I don't know, something as small as a paperclip, for example, and it'll say, and you haven't scanned it, unauthorized item in bagging area. You can't even open another bag, and it thinks that or if you double bag something, it'll trip it. So they've got these very precise sensors. They're also videotaping you while you're scanning your items.
Yep.
One person said, they really should be paying me for all this harassment I'm going through. It's annoying.
Well, again, we can debate that. I mean, from their perspective, I mean, listen, theft is theft, right? It is big, and it at the stores is quite a bit of that. And
But the point is that if they're doing the work, they should be getting a discount because they're checking their own items out. This is the point that they were making.
well, now they're getting a charged for it as opposed to a discount,
Well, they're
right?
only going to get charged if they use the Target app.
Hmm.
And you
Well, but
can't
you
use the
said
Target
the
app
way it was
unless
presented is the
you're
other
a
way,
premium customer.
right? But you said that it's been explained that they're just basically charging people, but I guess they didn't explain it correctly.
Right. You can still go and use the checkout lanes.
Hmm.
But if you're in the store and you're shopping for things, When you have the Target app, you can just scan them, and then before you leave, you can just pay for it, and you're done. But they're only allowing that to their premium members, and the reason is because when you just go up there, they don't really know who you are. When you're signed in, they have all your information, and inadvertently, if you happen to, let's say, I don't know, let's say not scan something properly, well, they can just pretty much charge you whatever and resolve the issue.
Well, I gotta, since we're talking about this topic, there's a couple of things. One is, you think that with the smart stores like Amazon's, right? Basically you go in and basically all the items are pre-checked for you when you walk out. They're already in your cart, right?
They
That
got
could be
issues with that.
well, I get it, but that technology can be applied accordingly even in a Walmart settings or anything. I mean, you come to that angle, there is a scanner, and any item that you actually have in the cart should be pretty much pre-calculated, whatever. I mean, there's smart cameras now. There's all kind of stuff that can calculate things before they even there. I mean, there's we're in the AI age, right? So that's that. But the other thing, I do want to have just a comment that it's funny because as you said, when you walk away with an item, that's a problem. But I'll tell you what happened to me once. I went, I was in a Walmart. I actually got some items and I got some cash back. And, the thing, did put the cash back and I walked away without the cash back. Somehow I forgot, again, shame on me. But so I came back, I called them, and guess what? Never got my cash back. Now they have a camera, they have a time, they have everything. But you think they would go and check? Now, when it came to cash that is not dished out to people and you didn't take it, even if it was an error, and it was an error, and it was maybe just me not paying attention, but you think that if you would call somebody with stuff. So they can tell if somebody took that money because they said the cameras were there. They were active. The camera was actually recorded. So, it kind of, it's funny how it works for you or sometimes against you. It depends on how, it benefits the store or whatever entity. So I didn't bother to complain because at the end of the day it was only a couple of dollars or $60. It was not a lot, but still a lot. For it not to be paid to me. Because if I missed $1 with them, that would be a problem, right? Now, again, this is just for people out there. So I've seen this, happen again when someone almost forgot to take their cash out, cash back from the machine. So again, if you're doing that, just make sure you take it because there's a good chance you're not going to get it back if you walked out of that store and moved away. Either the next person is going to put that in their pocket and that's it, or you never know. It could be anybody. So for that matter, or they can just, have a plus in their, bank. And for you, good luck to find out, what happened. So again, there's something that I just wanted to share because
No,
that's actually
I
happened to
think
me.
you bring a very good point up there, HH, that, it's okay whether it's that or whether you owe a company money. It's like they want their money right away. Like, I'll give, for example, we had used a company, I'm not going to mention their name, even though we don't use them anymore. They start with an A and they end with another letter in the alphabet. You probably can figure who I mean. And so we had an issue with our payroll. We've since dropped them many years ago. We've been through like 10 payroll companies now. And so when we went to do payroll, everything seemed fine. Well, they had a browser issue with Firefox. No one said there was an issue. I submit everything. Everything looked fine. The reports looked beautiful. Everything was great. It was going to come out my account. Everything was great. Well, the bug, HH, was that whatever I put in, so let's just say the payroll hypothetically was $20,000. I'm just going to make this up, right? Well, they had a bug in there so that if you actually did $20,000, the system actually charged you $200,000. You get that?
Say one more time, just so we can
So
we can have our
the
audiences
payroll,
get
let's
that.
just say, was $20,000, okay, for the week. And when you used Firefox, their platform automatically added an extra zero. So it withdrew $200,000 from the corporate bank account.
Wow.
I very politely reached out to them if they could fix it for me. They said it's going to take 7 to 14 business days to probably remediate it. I said, you serious? Like, when there's a problem and I made a mistake, you want that money like right now. Well, sir, it's going to take time to, investigate that. $180,000 mistake.
Hmm. Well, I can tell you. I mean, you're talking about these things are very common, and for our audiences, I mean, for those people that may inquire or that may want to get sometimes or pay something. Here's the deal. It is a fact. You would pay something today, and if you cancel whatever it is, or ask for a refund, even if you're supposed to get a refund, it's going to take 7 business days or maybe 2 weeks before you get, and sometimes 20 days to get your money back. It's amazing. They take it quick, but it's hard to give it back to you. I wonder
Well,
why.
I had a situation that came up, and I decided to deal with this because this was going now 2 weeks.
Hmm.
We were getting ready to run the payroll, two payrolls in, and I really want that money, right? So I decided to file a report with Better Business Bureau, which actually does nothing. I file a report with Consumer Affairs. You know what else I file a report with?
Hmm.
Dobra.
All right, can you tell a little bit more of the audience about Dobra? I mean, we are worldwide, so let's see what that looks like for people. Let's break it down.
Department of Banking and Insurance.
Mm.
So what Dobra does is the New Jersey Department of Banking and Insurance. Call them Dobra for short. Um, Dobra is the place that regulates. They basically regulate um, any kind of insurance, banks, etc. Department of Banking um, and Insurance Industry, insurance like DOB, I know DIBIA or something like that. So Dobra, I filed a complaint with Dobra, and do you know that within 24 hours I had my money back in my bank account? Now let me tell
Wow.
you what happens with Dobra if you play around with Dobra. Dobra has the power to yank your license to trade in the country. Actually, in New Jersey, but they can yank your license to do business. So you would not be able to operate as a bank in that state.
All right, hold on. So let's just, I just want to get this because this is important stuff. I think everybody watching or listening today or anytime, if you catch the show, this is a very good piece of information that I didn't know, and certainly probably a lot of people may not know. Uh, Maybe I'm the only one. Doesn't matter, but um, you because this is a very common problem. You pay something and you sometimes even by mistake they take the wrong money, whatever subscription, this the other, and a lot of people have subscriptions, and you cancel service whatever, and you ask them for a refund, even if you're owed the refund, okay, we'll refund you the money, but it takes forever to get your money. Now you're saying that if you
It's
file
called
this
it's called Dobie, by the way. I was giving you the wrong name. It's called Dobie, by the way.
Adobe, all right, so
Department
of
of
banking insurance.
Banking and Insurance. Department of Banking, Insurance, and Real Estate Industries.
Oh, well, Dobra, okay.
Dobie. I said Dober, but Dobie.
Adobe. Okay. Well, it sounds like that's the way to go. I mean, I'm sure there's a website. So maybe
Yeah, so you can reach out to Dobie. It's very, very easy to reach out to Dobie. They actually have a website. And so, if you go to Dobie, um, they're actually, you can get them right off the nj.gov. You can go to nj.gov/Dobie.
just DOBI.
nj.gov/Dobie. And on there, you can see things like consumer assistance inquiries and complaints. You click on the button and it says how to file a formal complaint, banking formal complaint, insurance formal complaint, real estate formal complaint. Let's go in one of these. Let's go into a banking formal complaint.
Mm.
So I click on the link and it tells me if I need assistance filling out the form, somebody can help me, yada, 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 yada. I can do an insurance file complaint online. I can insurance complaint form mail. So it just depends on, what you're doing. So I did the one here for filing an inquiry, which in this case is going to be to file for a banking formal complaint. So banking formal complaints get handled under the link for banking formal complaint when you click it. So you have by mail or fax. If I click on online, Here's what it asks me. It asks me for you could try to address the matter they're saying yourself. If you've contacted Consumer Information Center Processing, they're going to give you a CICPU number. If not, just leave it blank. Then put in your complaint, basically your information as the filer of the complaint. They'll ask for your name, address, city, state, the business phone number, the home, cell, your email address, and then they're going to ask you who you're filing the complaint against. And let me tell you, you don't want to fool around with Dobie. I have used Dobie a couple times in my life, and they have been great. I had somebody who was harassing me for money many years ago, claiming I owed them something when I might have owed them something, but the way they were handling it was very disrespectful. I got Dobie to call the National Collections Agency to demand that they stop contacting me, or they would lose their license to conduct any business in the state of New Jersey.
That's pretty heavy.
So a lot of people don't know who Dobie is. It's not an animal. It's not a Disney character. But most people don't realize that it handles banking, insurance, and now real estate formal complaints. So there's a banking complaint, an insurance complaint, or a real estate complaint. I only learned about Dobie 20 years ago. And Dobie has a P.O. box in Trenton, and you can actually call. Basically, they tell you that you can reach out to them by basically reaching out to the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, the OCC. And by the way, they're out of Houston, Texas. And you can call them at 1-800-613-6743, and they can help you. If you are filing an insurance formal complaint, well, it's a little bit different. You basically can follow similar steps, but they don't have a phone number for the insurance division. The banking, they do. The real estate, well, guys, you're out of luck on that. There's no phone number for the real estate.
What was the main number?
The main number for the banking is 1-800-613-6743, and they are the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, the OCC. So what you may or may not know is that various types of financial service providers, banks, credit unions, etc., are regulated by different governmental agencies. In order to expedite handling of your complaint or inquiry, you file it with the agency that regulates the provider that gave rise to the complaint for your specific situation.
Well, so I just put that number on the screen. So if anyone that's inquiring, feel free to indulge and call because
Now,
yeah.
if you go to your bank, okay, and you say, oh, I don't want to go through all the steps of filing with Dobie, you can just go to your bank. I had an issue for one of my charities, and they didn't want to release the funds because we were leaving the bank to go to another bank. I was going through like a merry-go-round for a couple days. Finally, I called up and I said, where's your corporate out of? And it was like a couple towns away. I visited their corporate. I said, I just want to let you know that I've called Dobie and I've made them aware of you. I haven't filed the formal complaint yet, but if this is not resolved shortly, there will be a formal complaint filed against your bank. And let me remind you what that may do. That may strip you of your right to trade commerce here. And here's the thing about this. In New Jersey, right? But I can tell you if there's a problem, there's a very good chance that that could lead to a federal investigation. And then they might not be able to conduct business anywhere in the United States. What do you think about that, HH?
I have to say, I love it, and you know what? People need to know about these things because you know everybody's money is important. Everybody works hard for the money, and certainly you don't want to get it to run around to get your money back. And by the way, what you're bringing on top, I mean, I just put the actual link right there as well for those people. That's you can copy it and take a screenshot and just scan that, whatever, and you can do it, or you can just take it. But
And if
uh,
you don't have access, if you can't use the 800 number for whatever reason in your area, you can't dial phone numbers that are 800. You can also call them at their non 800 number, 609 292 7272. Now, when you do this, that is the number for the OCC. Now, if you are filing a complaint online, which is the best way to do it, you will be given a tracking number. Definitely save that information, because if you have to reach out to the office, they're going to ask you for it. When you filed a complaint like this, I can tell you something. The office is going to have some really interesting things to be said, because that bank, when I reached out, I didn't even file a formal complaint at HH. They would not let me take the money out from the charity to move to another bank. They said you're forbidden to do that.
so it's your
Really?
money, and you're
Well, my
unable to.
charity's money. Yeah, I was
Well,
taking it out to bring it to another bank.
well, it is like a corporation, right? Charity.
Yeah,
It's a fund that you
it was a
have.
501c3.
Exactly. So you
So,
manage those funds,
yep.
and they basically you are the one. You're the
They
person
told
in
me that
charge of it, the principal.
I could not withdraw it. I was withdrawing the money. First of all, I wanted to withdraw money to pay our insurance. We have
Mm.
an insurance bill every year. It's a couple $1,000s. So I was withdrawing the money to basically pay our insurance, which was coming due. Had like 30 days. So there were some political things going on there. They did not want my organization to make it. They wanted it to fail and be removed from the blessings of the town, the borough. So they wanted me to fail and lose my insurance. Because if I lost my insurance, I would no longer be credible. Well, I let Dobie know about all this. I didn't file a formal complaint. I didn't even tell Dobie who the bank was. I just got some basic information, got a name of a person that I talked to, and I just let the bank know that I've reached out to Dobie, and I want to let you know that I'm going to file a formal complaint. I've actually talked to Mark over in Dobie's office in Trenton, and he has advised me that I should file a formal complaint, but I should make you aware that if I file this formal complaint, there will be a state and possibly a federal investigation done on your bank. I'm sure you'll be happy to comply with that, because failure to do so would result in additional fines that could be imposed upon you. As soon as I did that, okay, and I was at the corporate office, they told me to wait one moment. So I wait down. Would you like a cup of coffee? Would you like some water, soda? No, I'm good. So I'm sitting in the chair. They come back in 5 minutes. Mr. Morley, how did you want the check back? It was a 24,000. I said yes. How did you want to receive that? Cash? A cashier's check is fine, and just make it payable. Just make it payable to the same name. Okay, just give me 2 minutes, and I'll get the account closed, and I'll get the check drawn up. Just give me a few moments.
Just like that, huh?
He comes right back. He says, Mr. Morley, I'm very sorry for the inconvenience that you had with our branch located in such and such town. I don't know what happened. I just want to let you know we are here to help you. We have closed the account for you. We're sorry to see you go. If there's anything I could do for you, let me know. And here's the check for the 24,000. Again, we apologize for any inconvenience we may have caused you.
John, listen to you. There's one problem that I see a lot of, especially now more than ever, which is consistency in information and training. And this is, by the way, worldwide, not just in the US,
Yeah,
which
you're
is
right.
you go to one person, they tell you one thing, you go to another person, you get another story, you go to a different branch, they do one thing different than the other. You on the phone, you talk to one person. I mean, I had, literally I had a pet beef with my bank, recently, because they pissed the hell out of me. I was literally overseas and I needed to speak to
Oh,
them about
jeez.
something. And you talk to one person, there was some transaction that are needed, disputed because I did not, it's a service. That's another thing. It's a service that, a subscription that did not deliver. And when I wanted to cancel, it's like, you can't cancel, you have to resume the subscription before you can cancel. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be charged to actually cancel. I don't want the service anyway. So that's neither here nor that. Although that is a big story on its own, because these subscriptions sometimes are a pain in the ass. And literally, sorry about the French here, but and no pun intended for French speaking, because I do
They're the
speak French.
worst, actually, the French. But I want to let you know that this is something I covered on my show about a month or two ago. And there is no single bill, but various consumer protection laws and regulations to enforce the Federal Trade Commission that aims to
Mm.
address companies making it excessive or difficult to cancel. However, it's not in law yet, but they are working on a bill. They're working on it
Well, let's hope
that
it's soon.
will force companies to make it easy for you to cancel. It's called click to cancel policy. The FTC is actively promoting the idea to institute a cancellation bill. Should it be as easy as signing up, you can just cancel as simple as a click.
Well,
There is one company I got to tell you. How would you
mm,
like this? To
mm.
sign up for this service because they're supposedly the best in the world, right? This company helps with managing certain types of funds, all right?
Mhm.
And they're like the best. And so they use AI and all these tools. But here's the best part: the subscription is $4,000 a month. Okay? Now, you get to try
Steep.
the service out for 7 days. After that, you're billed $4,000. Okay. So it's very easy to sign up. You click the button, you put your credit card, you click bing bing. You will not be charged for X days. So if you cancel within the 7 days, no problem. But if you cancel outside of 7 days, it's not going to be quite easy. Even with some of those, they lie about the cancellation process. It doesn't work. So what this company did is very interesting. So now you just subscribe to the service. Let's just say Hurricane. Let's say you subscribed in December,
Mm.
and you described maybe it was on January. I'm sorry, December. I don't know, December maybe 30th. You say, you know what? It's the fourth. I don't want to go with this one. It's like I don't want to do this. Okay, fine. So you go online to do the cancellation. So you click on the cancellation button. It's supposed to be very simple and easy, right? They come back to you and let you know that this is the cancellation process. Very helpful, right? In order to cancel, please click the link. You click the link. It says you must speak with a cancellation consultant
Oh, I've
before we
had that.
close your account.
Hmm.
So now, then there's a little disclaimer. Even though then you you want to pick a cancellation date, like in the next day or two. Remember, you have to cancel that before the 6th or you're going to be charged. Okay? So now you get a message on the screen telling you that unfortunately, due to the high number of inquiries we are getting at this time, the first cancellation we have is February 18th. We realize that this is after your due date, and you will be initially charged for the next month until your policy is canceled. You can bring this to our attention so we can hopefully resolve any additional charges during this period. We apologize for any inconveniences this may have caused you. So,
I think we should start reviewing these companies and just put them on the air just so they can learn. I mean, because to be honest with you, it is getting a little bit out of. I mean, just going out of hands here. In terms of these services. And by the way, I have a service. You have services, right?
mhm,
It's very simple. When you say cancel anytime means cancel anytime. You stop. That's it. As simple as that. It doesn't have to be complicated, as you said. It's very easy to click yes and get the service. And even those trials, that's the other thing. It's like, oh, you get 3 days, 7 days, whatever. You just forget one day, and oops. I mean, you have a lot of things in your mind, and now you're
right.
stuck with something. Now,
Well,
as you said,
I give
yeah,
you an example. So a lot of you might download an app, like from the App Store, right? Like
yeah,
Apple or Android.
yeah.
And so you have to know, it's your responsibility to know when that app, you can go in early and cancel very easily. But these apps are not that. Well, I had a situation where I purchased something that was supposed to do something. Well, it never worked. So I went back to them, had to go to the Apple Store, fill everything out. And the developer's like, oh, no, we want to work with you. We want to solve the situation. We're going to help you. I said, look, dude, I don't have 3 months to help you fix your software. Like, it doesn't work. Oh, I'm so sorry on that one. We'll have to research a credit for you. Well, how is that going to? It could take 3 or 4 months. So I go to the Apple store. I fill out my information. I put everything in there about what's happening, transcending, and Apple has the sole decision to approve it or reject it because now they're getting involved. Within 48 hours, I get an email back. It says, "Thank you for contacting the App Store, Apple App Store. We are sorry that you were dissatisfied with one of our merchants. We have reviewed the situation, and fortunately, at this time, we're going to go ahead and refund your purchase." Why is that unfortunate? That sounds like a good thing. So they said, "Unfortunately, at this time, we're going to go ahead and refund you." So going through these cancellations with Apple is a pain in the neck. But if you document things, it will work in your favor. I mean, some of the worst ones, I think, are like these. It's got to be like some of these shoe companies, or how about the wine club of the month?
Oh yeah, I mean, my daughter got one of those, and let's talk about a shoe or something. Oh no, they say you sign up for this thing, and then you get a surprise package or whatever of things, and then only to
Yeah,
know that not only she paid for that, they also want to charge her more than the cost of those items per item, which was not clearly disclosed to her. I mean, that's the part that I don't get. Like, there's these little gimmicks. So again, folks, if you're watching or listening, this is just for you, as buyer beware, as they say, right? Make sure you do due diligence. Don't just quickly subscribe to things until you know what the cancellation, the termination of whatever, the refund policy, all stuff. Because once you give them your credit card, that's the other thing. Credit cards go on autopilot, and they just take the money. I mean, literally, the autopilot. And now you have to figure out, you have to close the account. You gotta, even if you go to your bank and you want to, let's say, stop them from hitting that account, right? You have to pay a fee to actually get them to stop, for a period of time. And so it's all this stuff and the aggravation, the time to get on the phone. I'll give you another one. So I have multiple websites, and for my wife's company, she has a couple websites, and one of them was done through a very famous website, designer, whatever they call those, companies, right? That templated, whatever.
they're,
Anyways,
they're, they're the worst.
the true story is, so it was like $800 or whatever for that particular just setup, right? And so we we tested that website, and it was okay, but it was too complicated. It's not as easy as people make it to look like, and so I decided to cancel it because it was not good for ops, and so that was it. So and that's it. We submitted the cancellation, everything. A year later, we got charged. Not even pay attention. It was on a credit card. We didn't even pay attention to that membership. I thought we were done with the website because we haven't used that website. And literally, it was a test run, and a year went by. So we thought, okay, we did it. It was done. That's it. Only to realize that not only they hit us for 1 year, and then when I wanted to really revisit that, on the day of, I literally caught it on the same day. Literally, well, not even that, because it was an email. Oh, you got charged. I'm like, why are we getting charged for this? So I look at it like, I called them right away. So I do my thing, and that's the other thing. You get a code, you get this, and you start before
I
you can
know.
speak to anyone. They make it so difficult to even speak to someone, and then you speak to someone, and you got to repeat yourself, explain to them. Anyways, I asked, oh, we can't do it. I was like, I have not used your service for 2 years. You charged me last year. And when I go to your site, even if I cancel it, it's for the next year, which means you still got to get my money this year. I don't want your service. Oh, well, let's see what we can do. It took, so luckily, they were able to refine, for that particular, I mean, they took the year for 2 years, basically. One, we say, okay, we used it a little bit, as a test run. The second, we didn't use it, and we didn't pay attention to it because it was literally a dead site for us. And then the third year is when we got that notification, we were aware of it. And the same day, I mean, it was literally minutes. So we get that notification, we're going to get charged. I called them like, we don't want to get charged to reverse this. No, we can't reverse it. Like, I don't want this service. We haven't used it. You can check. There's no activity on this site. Finally, I get that reimbursement for a week later. And that's the other thing, or 2 weeks later. That's the problem. The money is taken immediately, and it takes forever to give the money back. These companies, if you take in money, you should have it.
They play games. They play
It's
games.
a big, it's nasty and really
So
not
they're
very
working.
consumer friendly.
They're working on it. One of the worst ones, and I've had this happen to me. I'm sure we've all had this. You go to a gym. You sign
Oh,
up.
it happened to my daughter too. I mean, young kids, right? They don't listen, and so it happened to her for a whole year. She got stuck.
Yeah, it's like now they do the ones like Planet does. You can do the monthly. I have my own gym, but you can basically just pay per month, and you're fine. There's no monthly. Like you can cancel any time. There's no on Planet Fitness. You just pay, and if your card doesn't, they cancel your membership if they can't charge your card. So what I tell people to do is get a card that's a debit card and preload it with some money. Maybe it's 100, maybe it's 200. If something goes south, well, that's it. Just make sure you do not sign a personal guarantee. If you sign a personal guarantee, you're screwed because then they will come after you because now you're personally liable for the commitment that you signed for. So be careful what you sign. That is really a very important thing. And one of the worst ones, I'm sure you can agree with me on this, is going to be beside gyms. I'm going to call it the number two biggie. It's going to be companies like Comcast and Altice. So they don't have a cancellation department. If you call and say, yes, I'd like your cancellation department.
They
Oh,
have a
one moment.
retention department.
Well, yes. Hi, this is Griffin, the retention department. Oh, that's the same thing. We're the retention department. We don't have a cancellation department. Okay, so what seems to be going on? Well, the bill's too much. Okay, well, how much is your bill right now? Let me just take a look here. Can I just get your name? Great. And can you just verify your address for me? Great. Can you verify your phone number for me? Great. Okay, and do I have permission to look at your account? I'm going to go ahead and send you a text message. When you get the code, just give me that code. Thank you so much, Mr. So it comes back and it's like, okay, so I see you're playing blah, blah, blah a month. Okay. Well, I can go ahead. I see you've been with us for 18 years. Thank you so much for your business. We really do appreciate that. I'm authorized today because you've been with us for so long. I can go ahead and take 20% off your bill for 1 year. Really? Yeah. And then what happens after that? Well, then it'll go back to the regular $599 price. Oh, okay. So what do? I don't know. I can only help you with today. So then what I do is I stick all these on my calendar a
Mm.
week before they're going to expire. Hi, I'm just reaching out to the retention department. Oh, what can we do for you? Well, you see, my policy is actually going to expire next week, and it's going to triple my price. So I know you feel that I'm going to be a fool and you're going to suck me in and you're just going to rip me off. Well, that's not happening because, see, I have you scheduled on Google and I get alerts to let me know when I should call you. So I'm calling you right now. Okay, I'd like to cancel my services. Oh, well, we can't cancel your services right now. You're going to have to go on the website and get a code, give us a call back, and then you call them back. It's like, okay, so why are you trying to cancel? The bill's too high. All right, let me see what I can do for you. I just gave you the code. I understand it, and you're all set to cancel. We've got you. I got you just one click away. I just want to see if there's just one thing I could do maybe to help you a little bit. And they're just so annoying. You get it with Comcast. You get it with Altice. And here's the best. If you owe them money, okay?
Ooh.
Okay, you owe them money. If it's not late, even if you just owe them money, try to go in there. Thank you for calling XYZ Corporation. Your balance is $482.95. To make a payment now,
Oh, no. The worst one is like, this is an attempt to collect a debt.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, hello, I'm calling my service. This is not a freaking collection agency, right? I mean, really, like, like sometimes I don't get it. I get the legalities behind this, and they have to disclaim these things because, bro, you're talking for your own bill. It's a collection. I mean, automatically, I'm calling for a service. Oh, this is, I mean, really, and
Well,
and sometimes,
your account is currently in the collection department. For what?
well, that's another one. Like they have different departments. But you're right. I mean, again, folks. I mean, here's the thing. There's a lot of this stuff that's going on, and I don't know I mean, I get the business part of it and, you got to maintain retention. Listen, I'm in sales and retention is part of growth and you need to retain your members, but you don't retain them by making them hostage. If they're not helping, first of all, if you don't do a good job with your members or customers, then you do expect them to go somewhere, right? And that doesn't matter what it is. I mean, from a sales, I mean, you're looking at, you're listening to two of us and we all have a very in-depth, long experience in
No.
the sales world, and all this stuff, business and the sales world, in general. And one thing is, you gotta attract business, and you have to keep your business. Got it. But you have to deliver the service, the promises and stuff. And yes, when you say
Absolutely.
cancellation is easy, it should be easy. Refund is easy, it should be easy. It should, like, a good example. I mean, some store, I have to give some of these stores, great stuff, like the Macy's, whatever. Their return policies, or some of these places that, I mean, really, Costco. I mean, they're good. You bring in
Oh,
receipt, even.
you can go in there during the COVID time. They wouldn't take any food back. But like the other
Well, no,
day,
I'm
I
not
had
talking about food, but things you
yeah,
can
but now
return.
they'll take
Yeah,
food back too. It's
yeah.
not open. Like I bought, they didn't have my brand of deodorant that I always use. I always use an Axe brand, which I've used for years. But they didn't have it that day.
Mm.
So I was going away on a trip, and I said, I'll just buy this other one, Men's Health. I said, what's the big difference, right? So I bought it, and I said, next time I'll buy the. So I took it, and then I was leaving for the trip, and I'm like, wow, I'm breaking out. Like from just 2 days of use, I'm like totally breaking out from this underarm spray.
Mm.
And, I think the most important thing, we've told you about some of the bad ones. And we told you about the shoe companies, the wine companies. Uh, we've told you about, maybe you've got an internet company. Oh, they're terrible. There was one company. They actually start with the number one, without telling you their name, but they start with the number one. And they end with the number one. And so this company, they they just make it so hard to cancel. Okay, well, we need to send you a cancellation code to your email. Okay, now once you got that code, you basically need to go jump around, jump upside down backwards. Okay, you got the code, great. Now you have exactly 3 minutes to click the form that we've sent you. I didn't get the form. Okay, well, you're going to get the form. You still have another 80 seconds yet to click on the form yet. It still has to come in. So the form comes in, you click it in, I'm like, okay, sorry, that code is expired. Well, now what? I'm like, what the? Like, really? So the question I think a lot of people are saying is, so how do you deal with this situation, right? That's the real, right? Because, you don't want to get frustrated. I told you should use like a debit card. Just make sure you're not signing any personal guarantees. Keep a record of all your transactions, their invoices, everything. So then what you do, you document everything. That is the big thing. You document, document, document.
Avoid auto pay, and or just having your credit card on file for
Yeah,
things.
forget that lousy $5 a month that Verizon they're going to give you, or just $5 a month. I will tell you a quick story on Verizon. So Verizon, as good of a company as they are, I've had issues with them. When I went to get my new phone, my brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max, I am supposed to get that phone right at this price. Well, they're trying to tell me that I'm not entitled to a phone suddenly after they ordered it. They charged me. They say you're going to get it. Some guy I talked to, Jamal or something. Now I call back. The order is in process, so they can't check it because it's in process. I never heard anything so stupid. They can't check the order because they're working on it. So then I call back another hour later. The order is still being worked on. It's next in queue. I call back again. Oh, yeah, that order's. I don't see that order anymore. It was canceled.
Huh.
You see the order? I don't see it. Well, do you have my confirmation? I don't see it. Well, we can go ahead and reorder it for you, but we're going to have to charge you the $295 upgrade processing fee. For what? Well, you're technically not in the renewal period. You're in 1 year, and now it's 2.5, 2 to 2.5. It's basically, I think it's like almost. It's basically, if you do 1 year, you got to pay the half off. If you do 1.5, then you can do the trade up without the extra, just the $35 upgrade. So I said, this is insane. So she said, oh, there's not much we can do for you, Mr. Morley. Okay. Now, I've had issues where they've misbilled me before and things like that. And, oh, well, you never said to cancel. I said, yes, I did. Oh, well, we can only credit you back for the 1 month. Well, what about the 7 months? I'm so sorry about this, sir. We don't have documentation that you asked for cancellation, so you're technically liable for those 6 months.
Well, here's the good news for everyone. So when you're talking to people right now on the phone, if you have an iPhone, it's very easy. You can record that conversation right off the top. I mean, you have if you have an upgrade software now, which everybody should, you'll be able to record that conversation. So this time when they say, I did not have that, you just pop that thing. It actually gives you a
Well,
transcript.
right on
And you
the
can say,
call, there's a little thing on the top left. It will dictate and record the call. If you
exactly.
have
Yeah.
version 18.1 or higher,
Yep.
it'll let you do that. But here you can do something even more than that. So you
Mm,
document everything. Now you have all your paperwork. Now you go file with the Better Business Bureau. Now you file with the federal, consumer trade. In addition to that, you file with the district attorney general's office, and you tag each one on those things. Now, you really want to get serious. You take this thing before you do anything, and you go to your local police department and you file a police report about this. Now you take the police report and you attach it to all those others where it says, hey, did you file? Yes, I did with my local police department. Yes, I did with this and this agency and this agency and this agent. So now everybody's like, what the heck is this nonsense? And you're going to see how fast they're going to respond, because that's going to be a big problem. What happened with this Verizon thing was, she said, well, Mr. Moore, there's not much we can do. I said, well, maybe you guys don't care that I have 175,000 subscribers, and I would hate to be you on Friday morning when I don't get the phone. And when I have to get on the air, it's going to break my heart that I have to tell everyone what you did and how you ripped me off and how I didn't get my phone. So then I talked to somebody. You know what they told me?
mm.
There's another department out there, HH. It's called the Jump the Line Department. So I'm going to see if I can get your case escalated to the JTL department.
Okay.
I had to
I guess
laugh.
I guess it's the express line, right?
She says, I can't guarantee your case is going to be accepted, but I'm doing everything to make sure that it gets a very good shot. The Jump the Line will put you ahead of everyone else, so your order will go out right away.
You
If
know,
it,
John, this is the thing. Like, again, we're talking about some real stuff and real events that are happening with everyone out there. And I think a lot of people watching today or listening or anytime when they listen to the show online on podcasts or on the radio. Here's the thing. These things are we all experiencing them and we still continue. I think we gotta have a little bit more awareness. We need to start, being a little bit more careful on how we process things and how we actually really just use these services. And like you said, do the fine prints, do the recording stuff. Now it is a pain. We shouldn't be going through loops and hoops to actually get services, and especially it just doesn't. I mean, who's got the time, right? Time is a commodity that we are running out of on a single split second or less, right? But that's the thing. We need to be more careful, folks, and for those of you guys who are leaders in these companies, right, or whoever is, I don't know, in charge of a service department, especially if you're in sales and in customer service. These folks got to be trained, as we said. They need to be consistent. One, two, people cannot promise things that are wrong. I mean, things have to be as clear, as lucid, as transparent. You know, no hidden stuff, no hidden agenda. It's very simple. Here's what you get. Here's how much it's going to cost you. Here's how you cancel. Here's your refund policy. And so when you sign, you know exactly what it looks like. And so that's all there is. It's not a complicated process. It shouldn't be. Yet we have to go through this. It's like your money, your time, your energy, and then you're stuck. And then you wind up losing sometimes, somehow. You just can't figure out how. But it's that kind of thing, right? So we need to be, a little bit more aware, and people just have to be a lot more, not only careful, but you just have to be a little bit more proactive in reading stuff. Now,
absolutely. And people that know your reputation, like I talked to this one lady, and she didn't give me her last name. She just said she's Mrs. First name, but not the last name.
mm,
She's like, oh, Miss Morris. She's like, oh, it's such a pleasure. She's like, I worked with you 6 months ago. I said, yes, when you misbilled me, $192. Oh, yes, it was such a pleasure to work with you. I made a one-time credit for you. Yes, you did. Yes, so what can we do for you today? Well, unfortunately, then she comes back. She's like, I fortunately can't refund you the $285 for, paying off the equipment. Unfortunately, I can't because you had to pay for it. So let everything go through. I get my phone. I wasn't supposed to get it on that Friday while I was traveling. So I go back to BBB. She said, Mr. Morley, how is everything? I said, well, I don't want to lie,
mm.
but I want to be honest with you and tell you that I'm not really feeling so good in my stomach right now. I feel like, I think I said David and Goliath. I feel like I was taken advantage of, that I was abused. She's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I still had to pay the money. She said, you did? I said, yes. She says, I'll just send it back up again and see what they do, because that's crazy. So now she said she wasn't going to do anything. So now she sends it back to her. She says, oh, I'd like to talk. I said, well, first of all, Miss, I said, just want to let you know, I don't want to get on the phone with you. Okay? I strictly want to handle this through written communication only. Well, I still need to speak with you to do the verification process. I said, that's perfectly fine. I'll get on the phone to do the verification process only. Then I'll hang up, and then we can do this through email. She said, well, that's fine. So she calls me back, and she says, okay. And she comes back, and then she emails back. She said, what's the process? I said, well, you still kind of took me over here with this. Well, it's not much I can do. I understand. I said, and that's why I'm letting the Better Business Bureau know that I felt you didn't resolve the complaint, that you kind of, appeased me, but then you really kind of pulled a fast one on me. Oh. Then I get another person from Verizon calling me. And then she doesn't want me to talk to that person. So now she calls me. I said, I can't talk. I'll email you. She emailed. So what do you want? I said, I want my $295 back. Okay. I said, just put the credit on my account. All right, Mr. Morley, we're going to go ahead and just make this one-time exception of the $295.
Well, John, I'm listening to you. It's funny, right? You get different people with different, again, perspective or angles, and some are a little more courteous than others. But that's one thing. But, this verification piece is another pain. You talk to them, you get verified on the electronic version or whatever, the AI, IVR concept, right? So you get through these prompts, blah, 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 and you get...
They say, in order to verify, we need to send you a text message.
Well,
Is it okay if we send you a text message?
Well, that's the new thing. But I'm talking about just you get verified voice activation, voice whatever.
That's bad. I don't recommend that, because
again, what I'm saying now with AI and all this stuff could be a little bit of tricky stuff. Listen, I have literally virtual avatars of me out there that are talking, and they look like me, they sound like me, and it's not me. Well, it is me, but I'm saying it is me, but it's an AI generated me. But the bottom line is, what I'm saying is, these are things that are real. Right? So you get verified, and you're talking to someone, and then sorry, but this is I got to transfer it to someone else now.
I need to re-verify. Wait a minute. Well, I don't have the ability to transfer the verification to the other person.
Well, no, hold on. That's besides that. Here's what. But listen, I've run call centers. You had call centers, and I know one thing for sure. You can when you have a call center. I don't care if it's retention, sales, or customer service, right? These are the ones, right? And in their protocols, there is something called warm transfer. There's something that is very easy. You are put in the other department, you get another person, you tell them the story, and you transfer that person. They say, hey, Mr. Hurricane, we just sorry to hear about your story. Would like to help you. I think we can do something for you. No, they just bounce you back to the line again for another hour of wait, because your time is not valuable. And that's the problem. Folks, time is valuable. Whoever is listening out there, your hour is worth more than millions of dollars, in every minute. That's what it is. And it's not coming back. And so when someone takes advantage of that, that's a problem. I mean, especially if you're calling on a Monday, forget Mondays. I mean, everybody wants to call Monday at 8:00, and you know what? You can be there for 3 hours. Now, the other thing that, that I have another problem with, and I think, we should bring to the audience is, so now they have these features where they say, okay, if you don't want to waste your time on the wait, or your line, I mean your I guess your position in the line, you can actually
up your position. We can call you back.
There you go.
So it becomes available.
Well, hold on. So that's fine. So you give them the number, you say yes, all this stuff, right? Now here's the thing. There's something called VPNs, folks, right? So VPN is a good protective service that you can have on your phone, so your calls are kind of triaged a little bit, and you don't get all the mess, especially if your phone is busy. I mean, mine, I get a lot of calls on a daily basis because that number is really bombarded, right? And so I have VPN. If you're not on my contact list, you're gonna bounce to my voicemail. You're either gonna leave me a message, or you're just marketing or telemarketing that I'm not interested in. So that's how it is. Now, when a service like this calls back and they call from a number that is not saved on your phone,
you don't know it.
Exactly, it's just gonna bounce. So that feature is not. So maybe if you are listening out there, folks that are running call centers, do me a favor. Make sure when you design your process and workflows, you can add that option of VPN. If there is a VPN, maybe it's in the prompts. Indicate that you have a VPN, and maybe you can give us the number that the dial is going to be in. There's a way to do these things. All I'm saying is you need to be a little bit more, up with the time because that's what's happening today
Transparent.
and being transparent. But frankly, that whole callback, may work for some, it may not work for others. And then it's a problem because now you got to keep doing the same thing. You got to call a service 3, 4 times a week just to get a phone call. And then that's if you're lucky. And then I know you have another one where people are from a different, part of the world and they cannot understand you well. You cannot hear them well. There's all kind of miscommunication on language barrier sometimes is there. There's all these things and they have attitude. I had literally this is funny. I had a girl tell me like, you know, um, well, I'm just saying because you say so. I'm like, you're not listening to me. You're not listening. Like, no, I understand, but it's not like that. But I'm just saying yes because you're saying so. I'm like, you know what? We don't have to argue. He's like, have a good day. Oh no, she said, have a happy holidays. This was like just a couple of weeks back, and like, you two was like, yes, I will. I mean, the attitude. I mean, really. I mean, I did file, and then they ask you for a survey. I mean, what do you think? You're gonna get a 10? You're gonna get a negative 10. That's what it is. I mean, seriously, folks. I mean, it's one thing when someone calls a customer service hotline. It's really they are needing your service. They're not calling you because they have nothing else to do. There is a problem. There is a service issue. There's something that they need to be addressed. Right. That's really what it's called, customer service, member
Yes,
service.
yes, 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 yes.
So the whole idea is that we're calling because we need your help. So if you're not willing to help, you shouldn't be on that call center. You should be fired. I'm sorry, or you should not be in that. Find another line of work. Right. And that's really what it is. I mean, it's frustrating. And again, by the way, I'm not speaking it as a consumer only, because if this happens under my jurisdiction in my department, that would not happen because my teams are trained in a particular way and customers are always right. Now, customers may be wrong, but the idea is that we will address what their concerns are. We will work. And by the way, there is an escalation process. For me, for example, I call people like on this, and then I say, "Can I speak to your supervisor?" I thank you very much, but you're not helping me. Can I talk to someone? No, I can't get you another supervisor.
They get nasty to you. They say we don't have a supervisor.
Well, first of all, there is no, folks. If you're watching and listening again, if you have a call center, if there is a call center, there is hierarchy. Everybody on that floor has someone looking at them at all times or listening on the calls at all times. So there's monitoring for compliance purposes at all times. And by the way, they tell you these calls are recorded for quality assurance. Well, that's all ongoing. So if anyone knows anything about call centers, that's a fact. Okay, there's screens everywhere, in whatever call center that there is, remote or not. Even if it's remote, I have screens on my computer right now. I can actually open up and look at everybody that's on the call center live. Okay, I can see who's what. I can tap into a call. I can even talk into the call if I wanted to. So that's how these softwares work and CRMs, whatever, platforms that are used for these call centers. The bottom line, if I am not happy with the discussion, you're not helping me. Do me a favor, just transfer me to someone that can. Now, you get to supervisor, they may not be. There is another hierarchy. As a matter of fact, listen, at a higher level, I can still get a call. And by the way, I do get a call. If someone says, I want to speak to your head of the department, they gotta transfer the call to me because that's how I want my services to be. That's how I want to be able to address my audiences, my clients, and my customers. And that's all there is. Now, if you design your call center in this way, things are gonna get better. But if you are allowing these things, now, obviously, folks, I'm not saying that you have to abuse someone on the phone or be nasty to them, although sometimes they really press that button and you get a little excited. There shouldn't be. That's the whole thing. We shouldn't have the ability to miscommunicate and get to the level. Sorry, unfortunately, I don't know if I can assist you. Maybe someone else can. Please hold on. Let me transfer you. And again, do a warm call. And if you did that, things will be a lot easier. By the way, every company is looking for those KPIs. Every company. And I know also under these KPIs, they have to, hold time. They have how long you stay on the call. They have other calls on hold, and they need to move quickly on the calls. And sometimes that creates a little bit more of this problem. And that's the other thing. So I have a rule. Once you're on that call, you're on that call until that's resolved. That's it. That's why you have to manage your call centers correctly based on volume. Mondays is different, structure maybe on staffing, whatever. There's staffing models to go for these. I mean, experts out there know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, then it's an opportunity to learn something. But at the end of the day, these are the things. But these are all problems that
Absolutely.
we experience.
Absolutely. I think the most important thing is letting people know there are tools out there. Like there's things like No More Robo, which we use, and I know I put some stuff in at home for my parents where they would get lots of calls from these places, and we do something that works really well. Every day we change the number, so when
Mm,
they call, hi, to complete your call now, please dial 28. Thank you. People are like, what's that? I said, well, it's just making sure. Well, yesterday it was 14. Yeah, it changes each day. Well, why? Because we want to make sure you're a real human being. Oh, well, that's nuts. No, it's not.
Well, you know,
But
it's funny you said that, John, because that's another problem with the IVRs, right? You know, they almost make it difficult for you to get to a human. I mean, because they want everything to be done
oh,
electronically or
last
automatically.
last last topic, and we have to wrap up. But on Amazon, I had a problem with something, right?
Mm.
So I went through the stupid thing, and I would usually go through, and I don't like. We need to verify your no, and I keep going through, and I go finally 10 times. I go to an agent. So I says, "Oh, I'm going to help you, sir, on this one." I said, "I can't even reach you. There's no chat." "Oh, there's a chat, but you have to know where to find it." "Well, where is it?" "You go to our main website, sir. You see that? Okay, you see the sites, here? Yes. You're going to go over there. You're going to click on this. Then you're going to click on customer service. Okay. Okay. Then you're going to go down to the problems and questions. Okay. Then you're going to click need more help. Okay. When you get the need more help, it's going to ask you a question. You're going to click again, still need more help. I got to go through 7 clicks. After you do that, then you'll get right over to somebody. So I did that after he finished with me. Do you know what it did? It gave me, okay, well, we're very busy right now, but we'd like to try to help you with our automated bot. I just went through this whole thing. It's like, and he says they're doing it on purpose on the holidays because they don't have the amount of people to handle the call volume. We'll hire some more freaking people.
Well, that's again talking about staffing, right? Appropriately. Like, listen, we had seasons, in sales, and especially in my world, we have seasons. So, and you do, kind of forecast your staffing accordingly based on even for example, when I'm in sales and retention, so we have our own call centers and stuff, and then we work with the customer service, for example, call centers. And basically, when I do the forecast for the year, we do actually budget for staffing and membership, and according to each amount of numbers that you're going to bring in a particular month in enrollments on this year membership, you're going to have so month 2, we're going to have one additional staff member per, I don't know, 500 or 1,000. I'm just saying, right? Callers and so on and so forth. Not per callers, but per membership. I mean, obviously not everybody calls at the same time. But so there is an algorithm, there's a formula that gets, put into these things. So you project accordingly. You're going to get an influx of calls in a particular time. That's when you hire your most stuff. Now, it's not hiring to fire people. You just work things in a budget so they stay, obviously, and so on and so forth. But there is a way to do this correctly. But you're right, when they do it to get around the system, it's a problem. And that's really ridiculous. And the other thing, like when people are, when you do these phone calls and those recordings, it's a balanced thing, and they just shut you down. They don't even, one more thing, actually, now that it just hit me. There's one thing that people don't get. You're not always in front of the computer, because you said many times, you go to this website, it goes. Sometimes you call in on the road, on the go. You're not able to be in front of a computer. And when you call a customer service for someone, a company that you have a service with, you tell them, like, I am unable to see this. I don't have my numbers. I don't have my this. You don't always have the stuff. You think about something that you need. You call them because there is a moment when you need it, and they should be able to verify you different ways, whether it's your, business number, address, whatever. There's different ways to do this, right? But at the end of the day, like, sometimes they should be able to give you those solutions, as opposed to, like, oh, if you don't give me this, I can't help you. Well, you got to call
Yeah,
back. And
yeah,
by the time I
yeah.
get home or to the office, it's later, so I don't have this ability to do this, right? So it depends on business or personal, but that's it. So I just, because you gave me that little thing there, and I had to take it. I'm sorry.
No, no problem.
Well,
Well,
listen, I know,
listen,
I know we've covered a lot.
we've covered a lot this, and we will be back until we get our regular schedule, which hopefully that'll be soon. We will see you next month, which will be February 3rd.
All right.
So, in the meantime, if you miss any of our content, you can always rewatch it, because there's just a lot that we put on the show. And I definitely invite you guys to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations, including my daily shows. So definitely check that out.
And also the radio, right? So you are still
Yes,
on
check out
those
the
radios.
radio show as well, which is also listed, so you can check that out. And, make the choice, ladies and gentlemen. Diet is not just about what you eat, it's about what you put in your mind. So why don't you start filling it with great content like we provide here? so that you have the potential and the opportunities to grasp those things that have been slipping through your fingers.
I think those words of wisdom we're gonna let it go right now. So, folks, it is getting late. So, we wish everybody a great new year because this is the beginning of the year here. So, hopefully, it's a better and wealthier, prosperous, whatever. As we
Abundant,
always.
joyful, great, wonderful year.
That's it. So we'll be talking soon. February 3rd it is. Bye for now.
Good night.